the farmer to the florist, from the baker to the bookkeeper, and everyone in between. Welcome to Your Country Business. Welcome to episode 1 of Your Country Business, the show that is all about sharing the stories and experiences of business owners and community leaders out in the bush. I'm your host, Shane Sellers, fellow country business owner. On today's show, we are talking to the owner of Bessie's Ice Cream Bus, Amber Davis, who runs Bessie's Ice Cream Bus out of Aroma in southwest Queensland. Your country business is only possible because of Clear Logic Solutions. So as a fellow country business owner, Clear Logic Solutions is my business, and we help businesses improve their business systems to manage risk. So if you need assistance with strategic planning, business planning, or just improving how you do business, check us out at clearlogicsolutions.com.au. As this is the first episode of Your Country Business, we'd really appreciate it if you could get onto Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and help share the page, help promote us, and get the story out of business owners out in the bush. Tag a friend, share the podcast, the video, say good day, send us a message if you want to get in touch. But we just want to promote it in order to help get the voice of business owners in the bush out and about into the community and broader Australia. So follow us there. But that's enough from me. Look, let's jump into the interview for episode 1 of the podcast. Here we go. Thanks for joining us on episode 1 of Your Country Business, and today I have the owner and founder of Bessie's Ice Cream Bus, the ice cream on the Mooove. Bessie's Ice Cream Bus offers sundaes, ice cream, and a whole range of other yummy, very healthy treats for us. With Amber Davis, the owner of Bessie's Ice Cream Bus, originally from Redcliffe but moved out to Charleville at age 4 and now a Roma resident. So thanks very much for coming on the show, Amber.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So Amber, tell us a little bit about Bessie's Ice Cream Bus. Look, you know, we like to get into the origin story and find out how businesses were initially, kicked off. What was the spark that led to the creation of this wonderful idea?
Yeah, no, well, we were at... We've had 2 young kids, and we were both working full time at that stage, and we just weren't getting ahead. Wages would come in, they'd go just as quick, and we're having a talk around. We needed a little bit of a side hustle, so we were kicking around a few ideas. Went to the coast, and the kids actually flagged down an ice cream van, Mr. Whippy, and I thought, what a good idea! I think there is definitely a market in it. So Scrubber and I, my husband, kicked around the idea for a while. And we, just thought that, this could work. We were looking for a few things. One, it had to be kid-friendly, so that because we don't have anyone else in town, so we'd have to do it with the kids, or one person go and the other person have the kids. The second thing is that we didn't really want to get in full-blown food truck, go and spend $100K on a truck or anything like that. So we were really looking for something just entry-level. And we found one over in Perth, but then we thought we've got to fly over there and have a look. And we don't really know what we're doing here. We've never poured an ice cream in our lives. I think on Scrubber's first street run, he mentioned to a girl that works with me, but he didn't know it at the time. He said, I don't really know what I'm doing. The only thing I've ever served is beer out of an esky. So it was a steep learning curve. But we just thought we just got to give it a crack. Have you ever read The Barefoot Investor? Scott
I have,
Payne?
Yep.
So he talks about putting all your money in buckets and, budgeting and, just saving for stuff that you want. We didn't really take his advice. We just went all in. We just thought, if we're going to give it a go, we're going to give it a red hot crack. And it's been really good. We're clocking up 18 months now that we've been in business, and it's good to look back and, a lot of learning.
Yeah. So from the moment of Mr. Whippy, when you're away with the kids and you get that moment of, I think you said that we can do this. What was the next step from that? How did you get from this should be a good idea to pouring ice cream out of a bus?
Googled it. I Googled a business plan, came up on the Australian Business Services website, downloaded a plan. It's really basically talked you through it. I've never done a profit and loss. I've never done any pricing, bookkeeping. So I suppose it was a really good thing because you needed that to go to the banks, to your projects and projections and that. And, I thought we'd sell 100 ice creams a day. That would be what we needed to break even. And I remember saying to Scrubber in the kitchen, do you really think we can sell 100 ice creams in a day? That is a lot of ice creams. And now, we sell 200 to 300 in a run. But it wasn't always like that. We've kind of built the customer base up, and with social media, it's just really good for getting the word out there. So we're looking at a bus in WA. To freight it back would be $5,000, and we're thinking, you add that to the already purchase price, and then your money to get into business. Like you're
probably a bit far to go for a drive, and would you think Scrubber might finish off all the ice cream on the drive back from Perth?
I was thinking we could blog it.
one way
across what is it, the
Great Ocean Road?
Yep, down that way. But no, and I mentioned it to a girl at work, and she goes, I know where there's an ice cream bus for sale. And I said, oh yeah, where? And they said Brigalow. So 2 hours away. It was just like a sign. So we went down and we saw it working, and we thought, we could do this. And we spoke to the old owners, and they were getting out because they were just at an age where they didn't want to do it anymore, and they gave it a full handover, their number and all the products. And so we went down and picked it up and brought it home. Then 2 days later, I did a business marketing course through BEP. And it was all about telling your story, marketing, and kicked off from there. I booked a private session with him, all free of charge, and we basically sat down and did a marketing plan for the first year. Got a logo sorted by Plash Creative, and just opened it up
and got going. So from you've purchased the bus, which is interesting to find an ice cream bus out in the bush. To go from having that, and like you said, you've got the marketing, you've got the business plan and that. So what was some of the challenges when you first get going, from the point of getting the bus to having the first few customers and that? There's always a lot of struggles when kicking off a business. So what was that like?
Finance was hard. We couldn't get a business loan because we hadn't been in business. So we did a personal loan. We won't give you I will give you a personal loan for 14%, but we won't give you a business loan for 6%. So we ended up getting a personal loan, which the business rents back from us. Mm-hmm. We did that, and then I suppose we went to the launch. Nothing really runs well with food. You've got to be a bit flexible with food because stuff that works in the kitchen at home doesn't work in a 40-degree bus with the machines pumping out about 50 degrees of heat. So on our first launch, we thought, you know what, we'll just throw the gates open, we'll park the bus at home, and, 10 or 20 people might turn up and it'll be a good news story kind of thing, and we'll be able to get our paws right. A friend's father had died, so Scrubber was actually at the funeral, and people were lining up outside the gate and across the road. Libby was about one and a bit at the time, and she was asleep in the cot, so I had her monitor out on the freezer. Aubrey would have been about 2 or 3. She was sitting on the freezer next to me, and we were serving ice cream. And we solidly did that for like 3 hours. People just kept turning up, and it was really good, really well supported.
Yeah, right. And obviously the kids must love mum and dad having an ice cream bus, wouldn't they?
They think it's pretty special. But I suppose when you start out in business, you think, yep, you're going to make some profit, you're going to do some sales. The stuff the kids have got out of the bus, like Aubrey never used to talk much to people. She thinks she's the best getting around in that bus now. She'll say hello. She wants to handle the money, So it's also been good in that respect to get her out of her shell a little bit and talking to people. I never thought she was going to talk to people. So it has been good.
And they come around for the rides and that, and obviously interact with the customers and that as well. Yeah,
they think it's great. We're like the modern day travelling carnies. So we go to Chinchilla 2 hours down the line with about same kind of market people as Roma, and we stay in a cheap motel, and one of us goes out on a street run or we do an event that night, and we just really fit it in around our family.
Yeah, and look, family and especially with a small business, it is that team environment. Especially with the kids and husband and wife team. So, have there been any struggles with that, or things that you've found that work well? Because obviously, you have to be very flexible with your schedule with the kids and that. So, how have you guys managed to work that into running Bessie's Ice Cream Bus?
Yeah, well, we kind of plan to be in an area every 4 to 6 weeks. So in that section of town, we started out just thinking that we'll do half the town one day, half the town the other. It didn't work like that. We went out and we did 3 streets. People were coming out to meet us like a parade. It was phenomenal. So we split the town into 5 sections, and Aubrey does come in the bus with us. Libby's doesn't meet the height requirements at the moment because Bessie's like 1985 old school bus with no car seat ports. So she's at home for a little while. But it's like having a newborn baby, having a business, starting a business when you know nothing,
And I have heard that at least yourself and I believe your husband Scrubber have picked up a bit of a name. You're starting to become known.
Yeah, the ice cream lady.
Yep.
And he gets Mr. Whippy. Even at Macca's this morning, there's a girl hanging out the window beside us saying, "Mum, it's the ice cream lady." So, no.
So from the challenges, I guess, moving on to what have been some of the highlights of running especially a small business with a food business and being mobile? What have been some of the highlights of working out in the bush and running your business out in the regional rural areas? Yeah,
definitely. So every December or so, Santos or MPC originally got us out on the pipeline. Pretty cool going out, 2 hours up Acadia Valley and having a look out there and getting escorted along the pipeline. And they said to us, pull in and, serve at the school, probably 20 people will show up or something. I think we served solidly for 2 hours, and the kids out there had never seen an ice cream bus before, and they're like, this is better than Santa.
Is that the kids on the pipeline or?
No, from the school, yeah. So, we've done that for 2 years, and even the adults, like the grown boys out there, they love it.
Yeah, and we were talking about that before the show as well, like that whole nostalgic thing of, you hear the, even with my kids now, we hear you driving through the street and that, and you hear that music and, even not only for the kids, like you mentioned, the bigger kids, it brings back that memories of running down the street and trying, chasing the ice cream truck and the eating ice cream's always a great thing, especially out in the hotter areas and that of Australia. So how have you managed to incorporate that nostalgic thing, or you find that it comes out in the business?
Best job in the world, hey? Like, it is the best job in the world. The kid, just all the kids' faces, and he wants an ice cream because he's jumping up and down. I had one woman come out the other day. She goes, "Can you just wait here? I've left my baby in the high chair. I'll just go get him," because you knew that lady was wanting an ice cream. But no, it's been really good, and being part of creating those memories and being part of the events and that in town and around the region. It's been really good.
And talking about events, we'd have to share some of the information, but the highlight that is Food Truck Friday. So for the people who don't know what Food Truck Friday is, can you just explain a little bit about that?
So Food Truck Friday, like all good ideas, was born in the pub. Scrubber and I had gone out for breakfast, and it turned out that the kids were in the playroom, but of course they don't want to be in the playroom by themselves, so one of you go with them. And so I ate breakfast by myself, and then Scrubber came out and ate his breakfast by himself, and I'm thinking there's got to be a better way to do this. And then I thought, what about something that, you park up, kind of like the Eat Street in Brisbane. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Oh, phenomenal, hey? I just thought we could do this. The Big Rig is a great venue, with the playground and everything there. It's got power. I was also chatting to our mechanic, and he said, "Amber, you can't run this bus every weekend." And I'm like, oh well, maybe this might be a way to be a bit innovative and pull up and do something different every month. So we've had singers out there, performers, community groups. They all so I went to council, and council approved to close the car park once a month, and we just hit the ground running. I think the first time people sold out of food, it was massive. People were just walking over, and we get about 450 each month to come out and have a bit of different food. So we do like choc dip cheesecakes and, rolled in Tim Tams or Maltesers or waffles or self-sourcing puddings and that. And, it's just been really good, and hope to continue.
I think I need some of that sugar hit. Sounds good. So looking at a Food Truck Friday, and obviously the events in the region have been affected by COVID-19, the coronavirus pandemic. So how has that affected? Has it affected Bessie's ice cream bus?
Yeah, definitely. Just for the last month, our sales have dropped 50%. Even though there's more people at home, I'm kind of in the same boat. We've always tried to keep our pricing structure affordable for families because it is expensive having families. But yeah, it's the street runs will cover our costs. To date, I don't think or know if we're eligible for any kind of assistance. So we're just really hitting the street runs and trying to do different things like adding different toppings. Tomorrow we're doing a dress-up run because the kids... It's the best thing about being in small business, isn't it? Like you see an opportunity and you think, maybe I could do something. So the kids get in the car with me. They stay in the car while I run into the shops. Probably naughty, but it's also naughty taking them into the shops at the moment. And, then they go home. It's really boring. All the parks are shut and, So I thought, why not do a dress-up run? Decorate your front fence and I'll give you a prize. We've got party bags we're just going to hand out to any kid that's dressed up tomorrow on our street run and just have a bit of fun with it too.
So sort of pivoting and getting the whole community behind it. And like you said, I guess that's the thing at the moment, as hard as it is for a lot of businesses, with any impact, you sort of have to, pivot and look at the opportunities and see what else is out there and how to be able to do business differently. Have you managed to utilise social media at all with some of this to help? I know a lot of businesses are going down that route and looking at online stuff and that, but obviously, you can't sell ice cream online. It probably doesn't work that well. But have you managed to be able to incorporate some of that into what is COVID-19 with the social distancing requirements and that?
Social media is our only platform we advertise on. We don't do paper, we don't have a website, and I find that it's very good because in like a rural community, people want their neighbour, their friends to know when you're in town. Like we drive to Mitchell and our post in Mitchell is shared at least 20 to 30 times because everyone in Mitchell wants you to know that you're in town kind of thing. So I suppose the only thing we've done out of that with regards to COVID is just getting the message across that we're still here, we're still, trading, and looking forward to seeing you on the other side.
So I guess one of the other highlights I know that you shared with me was the Rural Women's funding and program. Are you able to share a bit about, what is that and what was some of the benefits that you got out of it?
Rural Women was discovered by Rebel Black, and the Regional Australia Bank actually fund 10 sponsorships through each region, and you apply for this, and it works out to be about $20,000-$25,000 worth of business funding for women in rural communities, and it's called the SEED program. So you're part of the SEED program, which opens you up to an online community, and they do a Zoom every week with different speakers for the month. Really, really good, like pricing for profit, takes you through, your pricing structure. Another good thing about it, just looking at your books and how you do business and, if it takes you 2 hours to do the ironing, outsource it and put that 2 hours into your business where you're actually going to get that money. So I've got a 90 lady, which I'm pretty happy
Helps
about.
Out with.
Oh yeah, she's brilliant. Thanks, Mrs. Callaghan. It was really good. And I think if you're going to start a business, there is a lot of avenues out there that you can, like BEP program and rural women, and just ask the question.
And has that sort of, set you up a little bit? If we cast our mind to the future, having that, some of that upskilling and training and background, and has that sort of helped a little bit with sort of, looking at some of the strategic direction you might take your business and being able to think about how to take those plans into action, and make them happen? Yep.
The best thing I took out of it, because I hate sales, I really don't like asking people for their business, but the way that Rebel did deliver this course herself, she goes, well, if you can arrive at a no quicker than, some people just hold on and say, oh, not this month, maybe next month, I'll see. Like, if they just tell you no straight up, you're like, okay, now I can move on to target my target customer or my target base, because I know, like, it's a no, flat out no. So, it's been really good.
And, without, releasing any of Bessie's wonderful trade secrets like Colonel Sanders' herbs and spices, what might be some of the things, that might be on the horizon for Bessie's ice cream bus?
Oh, I'd like to get into do a few more like dessert runs or, maybe even brekkie runs. And I would like to pick food truck up and take it around the region at some given point when this is all over. And probably an upgrade would be nice, like Bessie's hot. She's got no aircon or cruise control, and she's old. She's a beast.
Need to keep Mr. Whippy and the ice cream lady cool while they're serving the community.
It would certainly help. No, so we kind of look at it as our retirement plan. Like, it's something that we can, in the future, 20 years down the line when the kids left, it's something we can do.
So one thing we love to do on Your Country Business is offer some advice with our guests to other people that might be looking at going on the journey of setting up a business out in the bush, or leaders of organisations, and transferring some of that knowledge and experience to other people. So as a business owner running a business out in the bush, what would be a piece of advice or even a few pieces of advice that you'd give someone who might be either looking at going on that journey or could already be in the journey, established in business for a few years? What would be a takeaway that you'd like to impart?
Yeah, I think anything you do, you've got to do well and just give it a red hot crack. Like when we first got into business, I was reading up that 20% of businesses, small business, fail in the first year, and then by year 5, 50%. They're massive figures, and with
pretty harsh statistics when you're looking at it when you're starting up.
Yeah, and you're sinking money in more than you're taking out. So I think you've just got to just really buckle down and give it a red hot crack. Kind of be okay that you're not going to probably make profit in the first or second year. You're probably going to bleed it, but also have that capital behind you just so you can for the the low times and the high, just to get you through. And then you're established, and you get those bookings, those rebookings for events, where you make that contact, and it seems to flow, or it was prior to.
And I think one of the other things that you mentioned is taking advantage of the funding and programs that are out there as well. Is that something you would recommend people to do?
Yeah. No, the Rural Women website is a good place to start. Also, Roma Commerce, if you're around Roma or any Chamber of Commerce, seem to be good advocates on your behalf, and a really good sounding board too, knowing what's happening in the region, especially in events where you're looking to get in.
Yeah, and I recently attended a business roadshow that was held out in Roma here, and there's definitely no shortage of funding and grants and programs out there. I think the tricky thing is just matching people up and understanding what is out there and how you can get in contact with it.
Yep, knowing where to start, definitely.
Yeah. So look, Amber, thanks very much for being on the show, but I'd love to give you a chance to pitch Bessie's ice cream bus. So tell us what Bessie Ice Cream's bus is all about, and where we can find more information if we want to go and grab a nice cold ice cream on a hot day, or even a pancake or something on a cold winter's morning.
Thank you. So an event without Bessie is just a gathering, so we can tailor our products to meet your needs. We're with weddings or keeping your spectators cool at events, or even children's parties. Happy to pitch in, lend a hand, make it a memorable event. You can find us on Facebook, Bessie's Ice Cream Bus.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much for being part of Your Country Business, Amber, and look forward to the ice cream music that sounds is going through the street, and I'll try and get the kids out with their money and line up and grab some of it and deal with the sugar high afterwards. It's great. Look, thanks very much for being on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.